So to write your letters today, you're going to need a whiteboard and a dry erase marker. Now, if you do not have a whiteboard or a dry erase marker, you can always use a sheet of paper and a pencil to still practice writing your letters. Miss Roan is going to use her whiteboard today, and it's from the Foundations Learning Kit. Let's begin with capital letter A. So for the capital letter A, we're going to start on the skyline. We're going to slide down to the grass line, come back up to that skyline, slide back down to the grass line, and then we will cross on the play line. So please get your marker, uncap your marker, and let's begin. Capital A, start on the skyline, go down to the grass line. Start back on the skyline, slide down to the grass line. Cross on the plane line. And here's your plane line. Repeat after me. A, apple, A. Very good. Let's come all the way over here. We're going to write another capital A. Repeat after me. Point to the skyline. Slide down to the grass line. And make sure you stop on that grass line. Go back up to the skyline. Slide down to the grass line. Cross on the plane line. Repeat after me. A, apple, A. Good job. All right, erase your boards. To erase your board, I'm just using a paper towel. You can use an eraser if you have it, or some tissue, whatever you have in your hand. Let's go to the letter B, capital letter B. We're going to start on the the skyline, and go all the way down to the grass line. Capital B. Point to the skyline. Slide down to the grass line. Start back at the skyline. Go around to the plane line. Go back to the plane line. Go around to the grass line. Repeat after me. B, bat, B. Very good. Let's come over here. We're going to write another capital B. Point to the skyline. Slide down to the grass line. Curve around to the plane line. Make sure you stop on that plane line. Go back to the plane line. Curve around on the grass line. B, bat, B. Very good. Erase your board. Let's write our capital letter C. Point to the skyline. With your pencil marker, point to the skyline. I want you to curve back on the skyline and down to the grass line. Come back up and say C, cat, K. Very good. This is your capital letter C. Come over to the other side of your board or paper or marker, and you're going to curve up on that skyline, curve around through the grass line, curve up on the grass line, C, cat, K. Very good. All right, erase your boards. Let's review. Capital letter A, B, and C. Capital A, capital B, and capital C. All of those letters are going to start on your skyline, go through your plane line, and stop on your grass line. Very good. Let's go to our next three letters. Erase your board. Capital D. First, you're going to start on the skyline, And you're going to go down to the grass line. Go back up to the skyline. Curve around to the grass line. Say D, dog. Very good. Come over to this side of your board. Start on the skyline. Go down to your grass line. Curve around from the skyline down to the grass line. D, dog, D. Good job. You may erase your boards. All right, let's go into making our capital letter E. Capital letter E is going to start on the skyline and go all the way down to the grass line. Make a line on the skyline coming out like this. Very good. Now go to your plain line. Make another line coming out like this. And then last, go to your grass line and come all the way out like this. This is how you write your capital E. Come all the way over here. Let's write another capital E. Skyline to grass line. Make a line on the plain line. Make a line on the grass line. And a line, on the plain line, and then a line on the grass line. E, ed, E. Good job. Erase your boards. Now we're going to go into our capital letter F. Now the capital letter F is very similar to the capital letter E. You're going to start on your skyline, go down to your grass line, come back up to your skyline and make a line out. Go to your plain line and make a line. F, fun. Very good. This is your capital F. Come all the way on this side of your board. Start on your skyline. Go down to your grass line. Come back up to your skyline and make a line. Go to your plain line and make a line. Very good. That is how you write your capital F. Erase your boards. Let's review our last three letters. Capital D, skyline to grass line. Curve around to the grass line. Capital E, skyline to grass line. Make a line on the sky, plain, and grass. Capital F, start on your skyline, go straight down to your grass, make a line on your plain and your skyline. Capital D, capital E, capital F. Very good. You may erase your board. Now let's write our capital letter G. We're going to point to the skyline with our pencil or marker, and we're going to curve around to the grass line. Now we're going to keep coming back up to the plain line and cross on the plain line. Very good. Let's make another letter G, capital letter G over here. Start on the skyline, go around to your grass line, come back up to the plain line, and make a straight line. Capital G, capital G. G, game, G. Very good. You may erase your board. Capital H. point to the skyline, come down to the grass line. Leave a space, and then point to the skyline, come down to the grass line. 2 straight lines. Go to your plane line and cross on the plane line. H, hat. Very good. Come on the other side of your board. Let's make another capital H. Start on the skyline. Come down to the grass line. Leave a space. Come up to the skyline. Back to the grass line. Cross on the plane line. H, hat. Very good. You should have 2 capital H's on your board. You may erase your board. Capital letter I. Point to the skyline. Come down to the grass line. Cross on the skyline. And cross on the grass line. Very good. Capital letter I. Make a space. Let's write it 2 times. Go to the skyline. Make a straight line down to the grass line. Come back up to the plane line and cross. Go down to the grass line and cross. This is your capital letter I. You may erase your board. Right, let's review our last 3 letters. Capital letter G. Curve back on the skyline, down through the plane line, on the grass line. Stop on your plane line and make a line on the plane line. Capital letter G. In the middle, capital letter H. Skyline to grass line. Make a space. Skyline to grass line. Cross on the plane line. Capital letter H. Next letter, review capital letter I. Skyline to grass line. Cross on the skyline. Cross on the grass line. Capital letter I. G, H, I. Very good. You may erase your boards. Let's write our capital letter K. Start on the skyline and come down to the grass line for your capital letter K. You're going to leave a space and point to the skyline from your plane line. Watch me. You're going to come out from the plane line and touch that skyline. Then you're going to slide back and down on the grass line. This is your capital letter K. Make a space. Let's write another capital K. Skyline to grass line. You're going to go from your plane line out to your skyline. Then from your plane line down to your grass line. Capital letter K, K. Good job, boys and girls. You may erase your board. Let's go on to our capital letter L. It's going to start on the skyline and go down to the grass line. Once you're on the grass line, you're going to make a line across. Capital letter L. Very good. Make a space and write your next L. Capital letter L starts on the skyline, goes to the grass line, and crosses out. L, M. Very good. You should have 2 capital letter L's on your board. You can erase your board. Capital letter M. Capital letter M is going to start on the skyline, and it comes straight down to the grass line. Point back to the skyline, and you're going to slide down to the plane line like this. Kind of weird. Can you see it? Good. Then you're going to keep going, and you're going to slide back up to the skyline, and then straight down again to the grass line. M and Very good. Capital letter M. Make a space. Let's write another capital M. Start on the skyline. Go down to the grass line. Come back up to the skyline. And down to the grass line. Sorry, plane line. Then you're going to come right back up to the skyline and straight down to the grass line. Capital letter M. M makes the sound Very good. Capital M, capital M. You may erase your boards. Let's review. Capital K. Skyline down to your grass line. Start from your plane line and out to the skyline. Start from your plane line and down to the grass line. Capital L. Start on your skyline, come down to your grass line. Come out on the grass line. And capital M, start on your skyline, down to your grass line. Come back up to your skyline, down to your plane line. Go back up to your skyline and down again to the grass line. Capital K, capital L, capital M. Excellent. You may erase your board. Next up is capital N. Start on your skyline. Go down to the grass line. Point to the skyline. Slide down to the side to the grass line. And then go back up to your skyline and come straight down to the grass line. Very good. This is your capital letter N. Make a space. Try it again. Skyline to grass line. Skyline to grass line, but you're going to lean it to the side, and then you're going to go from sky to grass. Excellent. Here's your capital letter N. You may erase your board. Capital letter O. Capital letter O is going to start on the skyline, and you're going to trace back on the skyline, come down to the grass line, and back up to the plane line. Let's come on this side of our board and write another capital O. Start on your skyline, go around to your grass line, come back up to the skyline. Make sure you connect to make your capital O. O, octopus, O. Good job. You may erase your board. Capital letter P. To write your capital P, you're going to start on your skyline, come down to your grass line, come back up to your skyline, curve around to the plane line. P, pan. Very good. Let's write another capital P on this side. Start on your skyline, go down to your grass line. Start on your skyline, curve around to the plane line. Now you see I came a little bit underneath it, so I may need to go back, erase that there. Where's my eraser? Try that again. Start on the skyline, go down to the grass line, come back, curve. Perfect. P, pan, P. Very good. You should have 2 capital letter P's on your board. You may erase your board. Let's review our last 3 letters. Capital letter N. Skyline to grass line. Come back up to the skyline, slide down to the grass line. Come back up to the skyline, slide down to the grass line. Capital letter O. Start on the skyline, curve around and back up to the skyline. Capital P. Start on your skyline, come down to the grass line, go back up to the skyline, curve around to the plane line. Capital N, capital O, capital P. All right, you may erase your board. Capital Q. You're going to start on the skyline, curve around through the plane line, touch the grass line, and come back up to the skyline. Then you're going to make a tail on the side of the Q, like this. Just go a little bit in, and come out, and touch your grass line. Q, queen, qua. Good job. This is your capital Q. Come on this side. Let's make another capital Q. Start on your skyline, go around, touch that grass line, and come all the way back up to connect on the skyline. Then you're going to make a tail for your Q. Come in, come out, and touch that grass line. Boys and girls, Q, queen, qua. You may erase your board. Capital letter R. For your capital letter R, you're going to start on the skyline, boys and girls, and come all the way down to that grass line right there. Then you go to the skyline, and you're going to curve around to the plane line. Come here and curve all the way around. Kind of looks like a P, right? Yeah, but we're not finished. We're going to go into that that plane line, and come straight out to the side and stop on our grass line. This is how we make our capital letter R. Very good. Come over here, make a space. Start on your skyline, go down to your grass line. Curve around onto the plane line, like you're making the letter P, but you're not finished, right? Go back to your plane line and come straight out to your grass line. Capital letter R. You may erase your board. Capital letter S. To write your capital letter S, you're going to point on the skyline, but you're going to curve back again. So we start on our skyline, we curve back. We keep curving around through the plane line, and we curve up on that grass line. Yeah, it's kind of tricky. It's a little curvy and swirly. Let's try another one. Come over here on your skyline. You're going to curve up on the skyline, come through your plane line, and curve back on your grass line to make your capital S. S makes the sound S. Good job, boys and girls. You may erase your boards. And let's write our capital letter T. Capital letter T is going to start on the skyline and come down to the grass line. Then we're going to come back up to the skyline, and we're going to cross on the skyline. T, top, T. Excellent. Come on this side. Let's make another capital T. Start on your skyline. Come down to your grass line. Come back up to your plane line and make a line across. T, top, T. Good job. You should have 2-letter T's on your board. Make sure they're capital. You may erase your board. Let's review our last 3 letters. Capital R. Starts on your skyline, comes down to your grass line. Curve around on your skyline down to your plane line, and then make a straight line out to your grass line. Capital S. Start on your skyline, curve up and back and down and back and up on that grass line. Capital letter T. Go from the skyline to your grass line and make a line your plane line. Capital R, capital S, capital T. Very good. You may erase your board. Our next letter is capital U. You're going to start on the skyline and you curve all the way down through the grass line back up to the skyline. Capital U. Now, some people are familiar with going back down and stopping right there for their capital U. That is one way to do it. Others do just curve around. I like this way of doing my capital U, but you can choose between the two. So let's do another capital U. Start on your skyline, curve down, go back up. You may either leave your capital U like this, or you may come straight down and make a little tail like that. You may erase your board. Next, we have capital letter V. Capital letter V is going to start on the skyline, and it's going to slide down to the grass line like this. Right there. And then it's going to slide back up to the skyline from the grass line. V, Van. Good job. Let's come over here and make another capital V. Skyline to grass line. Coming back up to the skyline. You may erase your board. Capital letter W is next. You're going to start on your skyline, go down to your grass line. You're going to slide back up to your plane line and stop. Then you come back to your plane line, come down to your grass line. Then you're going to slide all the way up to your plane line for your W. Good job. Let's do another one. Come on this side. Capital letter W is going to start on your skyline, slide down to your grass line, come back up to your plane line, slide down to your grass line, and then come all the way up to your skyline. W, win, what? Good job. All right, you may erase your board, and let's review our last three letters. Capital letter U. Skyline, curve around to grass line, back down to your grass line. Capital V, skyline to grass line, all the way back out to skyline. And capital W, skyline to grass line, back up to the plane line, down to the grass line, and all the way back up to your skyline. Capital U, capital V, capital W. You may erase your board. Next, we have capital X. Capital X starts on the skyline and comes straight down to the grass line. Then you're going to come back on the other side of the skyline and slide down in the opposite direction through the plane line to the grass line. Good job. Xbox. Make a big space. Come over here. Let's make another capital X. Start on your skyline. Go to your grass line. Come over here. Go to your skyline. Come through your plane line and down to your grass line. You may erase your board. Capital letter Y. Capital Y is going to start on the skyline. And you're going to come from the skyline down to your plane line. Then you're going to come on your other side of your plane line, of your skyline, and you're going to go from the skyline down to the grass line. Then you're going to make a straight line from the plane line to the grass line. Very good. Let's try it again. You're going to go from the skyline to the plane line. Then from the plane skyline, this side to the plane line. Then you come to the plane line and go straight down. And I know some people make their capital Y's different. Remember, we're following Foundations format, and this is how they make their capital Y's. Very good. Please point to both of your capital Y's. You may erase your board. And our last letter is the capital Z. Capital Z is going to make a straight line back on the plane line, like this. Then they are going to make a line by sliding down from the plane line to the grass line. Then they're going to go back on the grass line by making a straight line. Your capital letter Z. Come over here, make a space. Slide back on your skyline. Slide down on your grass line and back on your grass line. Capital letter Z. Very good. Let's review our last three letters. Erase your board. Capital X. Skyline of grass. Skyline of grass. Capital Y. Skyline to grass. The plane line. Skyline to plane line. Then straight down to the grass line. Capital Z. Slide back on the skyline. Down to the grass line. Back on the grass line. X, Y, Z. Very good. You may erase your board. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed learning how to write your capital letters from A through Z. If you like this video more, make sure you click subscribe below and like it. And I'll see you guys next time.